What's going on, Wrestle Nation? You are now tuned in to Wrestle Talk, and today we are going to give you what you've been asking for, what you've been waiting for. Well, really, we're just going to give you what I want to give you. We have the top 5 best wrestling games of all time. Now, this is merely my opinion. If you disagree, then let me know what your top 5 is in the comment section below. But for me, you know, video games have been near and dear to my heart as a nerd with no friends. But video games kept me consoled, you know, they kept me wholesome, and they gave me a friend when I didn't have a friend. So I have my top 5 best video games of all time. We're gonna get things kicked off. Number 5, and a lot of people didn't play this game or didn't like this game, but I personally loved it. It's WWE Day of Reckoning. It was released in 2004 on the GameCube. See, my favorite thing about this video game was that Edge's music was up to date. I mean, it was like Edge was my favorite back in the day, and when his music, you know, that you think you know me, dun 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 dun, was hitting, then you know it was going to be something good. Not only that, the gameplay to me was smooth. It had kind of a iffy thing, because when you started off against Ric Flair, and he was always it seemed like he was like the boss of the game, and it was impossible to beat him. I never beat him in the beginning, but as time progressed, I whooped the shit out of him. But that's not, you know, we're not gonna say nothing about the woo, jet flying, hang gliding, well, all that other good stuff. No, I'm just playing. But, you know, that was my favorite video game when it came out. Now, moving on to number 4, we have the most underrated game, I think, in the history of WWE video games, which was WWE No Mercy. It released on 2000 on the N64. It was, to me, just something that was like, why do I play this game? But at the same time, it was like, it was so good. The creator character was so much more in-depth than what it is now. It was just in your face, and it was like, you had so much free roam. Now, you had to actually complete the story mode to win the title, but at the same time, though, it was good and it was easy to play. It was fun to play, and I think that it's underrated because it was such a good game, but it got overshadowed because I guess it looked like you was playing Minecraft wrestling. I don't know, but for me, that was one of the games that I just couldn't get enough of. Moving on, my number 3 pick has to be WWF Raw. It was released in 94 on the Sega. Now, some of y'all viewers wasn't even born in 94. Like, y'all wasn't even thought of until like the later on in the years. But if you go back, go buy an old school Sega Genesis, go buy WWF Raw, and you will see what I'm talking about. The Royal Rumble mode was so easy. All you had to do is just go let other people, you know, buy time, let them fight, then come pick off like a vulture. But for me, it was you can hit the ref and it would turn into a bedlam, which means that you could just knock everybody either which way with steel chairs and ring bells and all kind of other stuff. It was so much fun to play. Not only that, but you could it had Bret Hart in there, and of course, once you do the sharpshooter back in the day, it was a wrap. Nobody was getting up from that, and even to this day, if you have Bret Hart on any kind of unlockable stage, you lock that sharpshooter in, and it's a wrap. Moving on, number 2, and I think a lot of people agree with me, WCW and NWO Revenge. It was released in 98, once again on the 64. Dang, the 64 had a lot of good games. But for me, it was always Chris Jericho, my go-to man. Not Goldberg, not Psychosis, not Rey Mysterio. It was Chris Jericho. Yes, the Lion Tamer. He was the one for me that could get the job done. With that Walls of Jericho, it was a wrap, and the gameplay was so smooth. To me, it was smoother than any WWE game out at that time. But I'm going to go ahead and give it up to Revenge for giving us that free roam mode. Like, you can get in and out of the ring. It took me a little bit to figure out how to get in and out because that GameCube, the N64 controller was kind of, iffy, but once you figure it out, you get out the ring, you just smash people up, then you get back in, you hit them with a finisher a couple times, and it was done and over with. Now, moving on, we are at that number 1 spot, and I don't think anybody would disagree that Smackdown vs. Raw 2007, which was released on 2007 on PlayStation 2, it was the best, not only because it had GMO, but because of the roster, because you had all the stuff in the story mode. You had all the goodness that comes along that doesn't come with the WWE games nowadays. That GM mode alone was just great. You can pick your own little brand and you can manage that brand, pick your own matches, and then actually fight in the matches. Get the ratings, go head to head. I always pick Smackdown, and then I would go up against Raw, and I would murder them in the ratings so bad that just like in real life, Vince McMahon had to shut me down. No, I'm just playing. but it was so good that I had to make that number one. Now with all this, you got WWE 2K18 about to be released next month, and I can't wait to play it. October is dropping, and if y'all don't got it pre-order right now, I don't know what y'all doing with y'all's life. I'm just waiting on it to be able to be digitally downloaded so I can go ahead, pick up. I'm gonna definitely make a stable. It's gotta be Oscar and Shinsuke, and I'm gonna have to find some other schmuck to put up in there, and I'm gonna call it the International Connection or something like that. But we're gonna run everything. We're gonna have Sanity's interest. I'm gonna let y'all see that once I get it. But this is being Wrestle Talk. If you like it, hit the subscribe button. If you love it, hit the notification button so you can get it hot and fresh off the pot when it drops. If you don't like it, then let me know so I can go ahead, change it up, suit your needs how you want to be suited. This has been my top 5 best wrestling games ever. I am Rob Talks Wrestling, and I will see y'all next time.